Heretic. As with any review, this may contain spoilers. By definition, heretic means a person believing in or practicing religious heresy. It's not the only definition, but I'm using this one specifically because of the religious aspect of the story. I was very impressed by this movie. This is a horror film, but I wouldn't describe it as scary. The feeling was anxiety-inducing. It produces a different type of effect than most traditional horror movies. The story follows two young Mormon missionaries who visit Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant, and are trapped in an experiment which Mr. Reed forces them to play that tests their beliefs. As the title of the film implies, there's a religious element to the story. One thing that really stood out to me was the dialogue. It's dialogue heavy, especially for a horror film. When it comes to religion, it's always going to be somewhat divisive. No matter what side a story portrays, it's going to stir up feelings, if you will. Are the filmmakers mocking the religion? Are they doing the opposite and actively recruiting? It's a tricky thing to give several perspectives without leaning one way or the other. For the most part, I do think the story presented good and bad aspects of religion and did it in a manner that wasn't offensive and instead made it entertaining. I viewed the story and reviewed the story as someone who is agnostic, so you take that as you will. Personally, I didn't find the story offensive, but that may be different if you have religious beliefs. The story kept you on your toes, and it wasn't always clear where the story was heading, and that was fun to watch. That being said, the last 15 to 20 minutes were probably the least effective of the entire movie, but it wasn't bad. The way everything summed up was interesting, but not as interesting as the journey we went through for most of the film. The anxiousness that I mentioned earlier was replaced with more standard horror elements, and again, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't as good. Obviously, that's just my opinion, and the last arc of the story is something that I think most people will enjoy. I want to mention the three main stars and characters of the film. Hugh Grant plays Mr. Reed, Sophie Thatcher plays Sister Barnes, and Chloe East plays Sister Paxton. All three were great. Hugh Grant was menacing as Mr. Reed, but not in a physical way. He was imposing without having to lay his hands on them. His motive was breaking down the girls psychologically. He presented choices to the girls, but in reality there were none. From the beginning, Mr. Reed was doing mental jujitsu on the girls. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East were great in their own right. Sophie's character, Sister Barnes, is a guarded individual with a mysterious past, and Sophie's eyes in particular really sold that. Chloe's character, Sister Paxton, is on the innocent side, and that includes a bit of naiveness. She is optimistic and sees the best in people. Chloe played the character with the right balance so that Sister Paxton wasn't annoying with her bubbly personality. Overall, I enjoyed the movie and it may be worth watching. If you stuck around this long, why not give the video a like, try it out, see if it works, subscribe, check out my other videos, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the film. See you in the next review.